Good evening, everyone. I'll call the City Council to order at 8 o'clock on Monday evening, June 8th, 2026. This meeting is being recorded. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We have 19 items on this evening's agenda, and I will ask the city clerk to please read agenda item number 1.
Minutes of the City Council meeting, May 18th, 2026.
Mr. President,
Councilor Vital.
I'd like to make a motion to accept and place on file the minutes.
Motion's made and seconded to accept and place on file the minutes. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The minutes are filed and the vote is 10-0. Agenda item number 2.
Now is the time for the public hearing on the petition of Mass Electric and Verizon to install one joint-owned pole on Concord Road, beginning at a point approximately 370 feet northeast of the center line of the intersection of McNeil Circle. National Grid to install a 45-foot Class 2 mid-span pole between pole 74 and pole 75 on Concord Road. Pole will be located on city property. The new pole will be labeled P7450, order number 26-100-9755. In addition, we have a communication from City Engineer Thomas DePercio with recommended conditions for the petition.
Okay, this public hearing we've taken up in 4 stages. First, the public speak in favor. Second, questions from the public. Third, public speaking in opposition. And finally, fourth, questions from the City Council. I'll open the first part of the public hearing with the public speaking in favor, starting with the applicant. Come on up, Mike. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Michael Frazier, 245 South Main Street, Hopedale.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, just looking to install a new pole between existing poles 74 and 75 in line with the existing poles.
This could be one of the mid-spans with a breaker unit on it.
Yep,
Comments? Is that it?
that's it.
Any other members of the public speak in favor? Any members of the public speak in favor? Any members of the public speak in favor? Hearing none, I'll close that portion of the public hearing. Questions from the public? Any questions from the public? Any members of the public have questions? Hearing none, I close that portion of the public hearing. Public speaking in opposition? Any members of the public speak in opposition? Members of the public speak in opposition? Hearing none, I close that portion of the public hearing. Questions from the city councilors? Questions from the city councilors? Questions from the city councilors? Hearing none, I close that portion of the public hearing and the entire public hearing. Councilor Ficillo.
Thank you, Mr. President. The city engineer has provided us some comment here and seems to have no issue. So with that, move to approve the petition with the conditions submitted by the city engineer.
Motion made and seconded to approve the petition with the conditions identified by the city engineer. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The petition is approved. The vote is 10-0, and they will have the conditions identified by the city engineer. Agenda item number 3.
Now is the time for the public hearing on the petition of Mass Electric and Verizon to install one joint-owned pole on Hosmer Street, beginning at a point approximately 190 feet southwest of the center line of the intersection of Briarwood Lane and Hosmer Street, and continuing approximately 20 feet in an east direction. National Grid to install a new 45-foot H1 mid-span pole to be labeled P850 on Hosmer Street, order number 26-100-9756. In addition, a communication from City Engineer Thomas DePercio with recommended conditions for the petition.
Okay, this public hearing will take it up in the same 4 stages. Public speak in favor, questions from the public, public speak in opposition, and then questions from the city councilors. We'll open the first part of the public hearing with the public speaking in favor. I'll ask you to come on up and state your name and address for the record.
Hello, my name is Rosanna Pochat, 100 Pennsylvania Ave, Framingham.
Was anyone just tell us about the project?
Yes, we're installing a mid-span pole between pole 9 and pole 8 in Hosmer Street, labeled 850 for our recloser.
And a similar mid-span pole with a breaker on it?
Yes.
Thank you, Rosanna. Is that it? Any other members of the public speak in favor? Any members of the public speak in favor? Members of the public speak in favor. Hearing none, I close that portion of the public hearing. Any questions from the public? Any questions from the public? Any questions from the public? Hearing none, I close that portion of the public hearing. Public speaking in opposition. Members of the public speak in opposition. Any members of the public speak in opposition? Hearing none, I close that portion of the public hearing. Questions from the city council? Any questions from the city council? Any questions from the city council? Hearing none, I close that portion of the public hearing and the entire public hearing. Councilor Facillo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Again, received comment from the city engineer with the standard conditions. Would that move to approve with the conditions submitted by the city engineer?
Motion's made and seconded to approve the petition with the conditions identified by the city engineer. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The petition is approved with the conditions identified by the city engineer, and the vote is 10-0. Thank you, Rosanna. Thanks, Mike. Agenda item number 4.
Now is the time for the public hearing on the application for modification of a special permit from Matthew Donnelly on behalf of Target to amend Condition 9 to increase the wall signage from 3 to 4 for the Target located at 423 Donald J. Lynch Boulevard, order number 26-100, 9747.
Okay, this public hearing again we've taken in the same 4 stages. Public speaking in favor, questions from the public, public speaking in opposition, and then questions from the city council. We'll open the public hearing with the public speaking in favor, starting with the applicant, and we'll let him pass out his handouts.
Thank you so much.
Matthew Donnelly, 271 Waverly Oaks, Waltham, Mass.
Thanks, Matt. You want to tell us about your special permit request?
Yep. So, existing right now, there is a special permit that allows for 3 exterior wall signs, and our modification would be to make 4. So, do you want to flip? Yeah, this one. Yeah. So as you can see that there's 1, 2, and then if you actually want to flip back 1.
Sure.
And then this would be the 3rd one. We are proposing the 4th one here for an existing drive-up stalls that are approved already. And then if you want to flip, yep. So this is the dimensioning of the sign as well. Yep.
You all set, Matt?
Yep.
Good. We're good.
Okay, any other members of the public speak in favor? Any other members of the public speaking in favor? Members of the public speaking in favor? Hearing none, I close that portion of the public hearing. Any questions from the public? Any questions from the public? Any questions from the public? Hearing none, I close that portion of the public hearing. Public speaking in opposition. Any members of the public speak in opposition? Any members of the public speak in opposition? Hearing none, I close that portion of the public hearing. Questions from the city councilors. Councilor Vital.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm just curious, does the other Target on the east side of Marlboro have a similar sign?
They do, I believe. We are also doing a remodel for that as well. We do not proceed to go with 4 signs, though.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Vital. Councilor Orem.
Thank you, Mr. President. Question on the pickup. Is it just for CVS, or is it going to be other different businesses that will be coming by for pickup?
So the 4th sign that is proposed is the drive-up sign.
Yes.
And that is a different type of scope that we're working on where customers will be able to pull in and the employee, they'll do like an online order, and then the employees will shop for them and then bring the order out to their cars so that it's kind of seamless process. And it's just going to notify where the door is, where they can kind of see the employee come out to the car.
I see, so this won't just be for CVS then? It'll be-
No, the CVS sign's already existing there.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Counsel.
President.
Counsel Preciado.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for being here. I'm just curious, is there a designated waiting area for pickup?
Yes,
Drive up?
there's already going to be a designated stalls that were previously approved from the
Okay.
town.
So my follow-up question is, is it necessary to have that sign up? If there are already designated areas, probably with signage, I would assume, that says drive up?
Yeah, it's more just so for the pedestrians to be able to see where, because it's going to be in line with the stalls where they can pick it up as well. So we're going to have a couple beacons out there, but it's going to be able to show the pedestrians where the door is, where they're getting their supplies from, and where they can park for it.
So employees walk out to the car?
Yeah.
Okay. So pedestrians don't need to know exactly where this door is? They already have the designated area where they park the car?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Counsel Preciado. Any other questions from the councilors? Counsel Ficillo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Matthew. Just one quick question. So is the drive-up service currently in use at this location, or is this new?
No, they're not currently used. They're
Gotcha.
being, it's already approved by the city, and it will be being built, and I think this upcoming year.
Gotcha. And I would assume that most of these targets do have this drive-up sign regardless.
Yes, it's
of-
happening nationwide.
Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Counsel Ficillo. Counsel Navin.
Thank you, Mr. President. Could you just clarify the difference between this service and the service that you already have if you have a mobile order and you pull into the spots out in front of Target and then click in through the app? What's the difference in that?
So, regarding the mobile order, this is morely of where you can kind of, not where you have to like pull up in front of the store and block the entranceways or anything like that. It's more of just like where you can sit in the stall and you can have more than one or two mobile order store pickups, and it's more of I think 12 off the top of my head, and so it's more so multiple people can kind of get their orders at the same time, and it'll take the shopping time down tremendously.
Thank you, Counsel Navin. Any other questions from the councilors? Any questions from the councilors? Questions from the councilors? Hearing none, I close that portion of the public hearing and the entire public hearing, and this is in Urban Affairs. And the chair will be contacting you for a meeting to meet before Urban Affairs, Matt.
Okay.
So you're all set. Thank you very much. You good? Ready to go? Okay, agenda item number 5.
Communication from the mayor regarding notification of temporary appointment pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 41, Section 61A, of Brian Doheny as interim city collector effective May 24th, 2026, for a 60-day term to expire July 23rd, 2026.
Counsel Orem.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to approve?
Just accept, place on file.
Accept and place on file then.
Motion is made and seconded to accept and place on file the temporary appointment. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The temporary appointment is filed and the vote is 10-0. Agenda item number 6.
Communication from the mayor regarding the appointment of Lynn Faust to the Zoning Board of Appeals as an alternate member for a 2-year term from the date of council confirmation.
Counsel Orem.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to refer to the Personnel Committee.
Motion is made and seconded to refer to the Personnel Committee. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The item's going to Personnel and the vote is 10-0. Agenda item number 7.
Communication from the mayor regarding updated salary ordinance for non-union employees, order number 26-100-9697.
Counsel Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to refer to the Finance Committee, please.
Motion made and seconded to refer this item to the Finance Committee. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The item's going to Finance and the vote is 10-0. Agenda item number 8.
Communication from the mayor regarding the creation of the Lizotte Drive stabilization account and transfer requests in the amount of $200,000.
Counsel Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to refer to the Finance Committee, please.
Motion made and seconded to refer to the Finance Committee. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The item's going to Finance and the vote is 10-0. Agenda item number 9.
Communication from the mayor regarding proposed Richer Elementary School project bond in the amount of $160,544,091. In addition, a proposed bond in the amount of $6,300,000 for the design, construction, and improvement of stormwater drainage and related municipal infrastructure.
Counselor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to refer to the Finance Committee and to advertise both bonds, please.
Motion is made and seconded to refer this item to the Finance Committee and to advertise both bonds. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? This item's going to Finance. We will advertise both bonds, and the vote is 10-0. Agenda item number 10.
Communication from City Solicitor Jason Grossfield regarding proposed zoning amendment to Chapter 650, zoning, Section 33, Results Way Mixed Use Overlay District, order number 26-1009683B.
Counselor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to move this to reports of committees.
Motion made and seconded to move this item to reports of committee. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? This item is being moved to reports of committee, and the vote is 10-0. Agenda item number 11.
Communication from Health Director Paul Dinwoody regarding a letter in support for a nicotine-free generation policy in the City of Marlborough.
Counselor Vital.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to move this item down to the item number 19, please.
Request to, you can file it or move it down to 19. Which would you like to do?
I'd like to move it down to 19.
Motion made and seconded, move this item down to agenda item 19. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. This item is moving down to agenda item 19, and the vote is 10-0. Agenda item number 12.
Communication from the Planning Board regarding favorable recommendation and comments on the proposed zoning amendment to Chapter 650 zoning to add a new section to create the Forest Street Residential Overlay District and to amend the zoning district map to rezone certain parcels to the Forest Street Residential Overlay District, order number 26-1009705A.
Counselor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to accept and place on file the communication.
Motion is made and seconded to accept and place on file the communication. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Communication is filed, and the vote is 10-0. Agenda item 13.
Communication from Central Mass Mosquito Control Project regarding personnel will be in the community responding to residents' concerns about mosquitoes on various dates in June 2026.
Counselor Orm.
Thank you, Mr. President. I believe this will be posted with the city clerk, but our residents are more than welcome to call the Central Mass Mosquito Control Program and request individual spraying at this point. Thank you, Mr. President.
Motion to accept and place on file.
And motion to accept and place on file. Thank you.
Motion's made and seconded to accept and place on file. Any discussion on the motion? Real quick. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. This item is filed, and the vote is 10-0. Agenda item 14.
Communication from the Mass Lottery Commission regarding application for a Keno license at Tackle Box Brewing Company, 416 Boston Post Road East.
Counselor Roby. Counselor Navin.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to accept and place on file.
Motion's made and seconded to accept and place on file. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? This item is filed, and the vote is 10-0. Agenda item 15.
Communication from the Mass Department of Transportation regarding notice of approval of the District 3 Vegetation Management Plan as modified.
Counselor Facillo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to accept and place on file the communication.
Motion's made and seconded to accept and place on file the communication. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The communication is filed, and the vote is 10-0. Agenda item 16.
Communication from the Department of Public Utilities regarding petition of NSTAR Electric Company, DBA Eversource Energy, for approval of its 2026 energy efficiency reconciling factors for effective July 1, 2026.
Counselor Facillo.
Thank you, Mr. President. We've gotten a few of these, but DPU looking for comments from the public on their energy efficiency reconciling factors. Folks have until June 11th at 5 p.m. to send those in to dpu.efiling@mass.gov. With that, move to accept and place on file.
Motion made and seconded to accept and place on file the communication. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Communication is filed, and the vote is 10-0. 17.
Minutes of boards, commissions, and committees.
President,
Counselor Doucette.
thank you much, Mr. President. Motion to accept and place on file the minutes.
Motion's made and seconded to accept and place on file the minutes. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The minutes are filed, and the vote is 10-0. 18.
Claims.
Mr. President,
Counselor Doucette.
thank you very much. Motion to send the claims to the legal department.
Motion made and seconded to send the claims to the legal department. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Claims are going to legal, and the vote is 10-0. Reports of committees. Who would like to go first? Come on, someone stand up. There you go.
Thank you.
Make sure I have my report. All right, the City Council Urban Affairs and Housing Committee met on Wednesday, May 27th. We had 2 items on our agenda. The first one was order number 26-109-683, a proposed zoning amendment to Chapter 650, zoning Section 33, Results Way Mixed Use Overlay District. Present for the applicant were Terry McAsheron and Kevin Sheehan from Greatland Realty Partners. Ms. McAsheron quickly reviewed the PowerPoint that was shown at the public hearing. The chair read the letter from the planning board with its favorable recommendation for the zoning change. The chair had circulated a draft with some suggested amendments to the proposal, and discussion followed with comments from several members. It was agreed to not amend to have 300 housing units be by right, but to make some of the suggestions that had been reviewed by the solicitor. Councilor Doucette moved to amend the original draft zoning, striking 100 and inserting 400 with the following additional amendments: to strike including without limitation age-restricted dwelling units, and insert the following: notwithstanding anything to the contrary in the zoning ordinance or the Results Way Mixed-Use Overlay District, multifamily dwellings in Subdistrict 2 shall be subject to 650-26 of the zoning ordinance. Compliance shall be made a condition of the site plan approval that is required. The motion was seconded, and then it went through again with approving the amended zoning, which also carried 4-0. As we all can see, this has a letter from the solicitor, so I will ask for a suspension when we get to the, want me to take it up now?
Right now if you
I'll
want.
ask for a suspension to be able to approve the order for the zoning amendment as amended.
Motion made and seconded for the suspension. All those in favor? Opposed? Suspension carries 10-0. Councilor Roby.
I'll move the recommendation of committee to approve.
Motion made and seconded to approve the recommendation of the committee, which is to approve the zoning ordinance as amended. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, since this is an ordinance change, it must pass the 4 stages. All those in favor of suspending the first reading and approving the second reading? All those in favor? Opposed? That passes, and the vote is 10-0. All those in favor of the passage to be enrolled? All those in favor? Opposed? That passes 10-0. All those in favor of the passage to be ordained? All those in favor? Opposed? That passes 10-0. Is there any objection to passage in one evening? Here are none. The ordinance is approved. Vote 10-0. Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. The second item on the agenda was order number 26-109-754, a communication from Attorney Aldo Cipriano on behalf of Mark Evangelos regarding a request release of a low-income deed restriction on the unit at 64 Village Drive, Unit 4. The chair stated a similar request had been on the council's agenda in May of 2024, and she suggested following the process. Councilor Doucette moved to recommend endorsing the release of the affordable housing restriction on Unit 4, Building 1, and refer to the legal department to draft proper language. The motion was seconded and carried 4-0. At the request of the petitioner, this will lay on the table until the June 22nd meeting.
Thank you, Councilor Roby. Is that it?
That's it.
Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Finance Committee met on June 1st, 2026. Meeting convened at 6:30 p.m. We had 2 items on the agenda that evening. First one was order number 26-109-752, year-end transfer request in the amount of $539,000, which moves funds from and to various accounts for the Department of Public Works, Comptroller, Treasurer, City Clerk, and Legal Department, and in addition to a transfer request totaling $3,192,000 from free cash open space stabilization, $15,000, and snow and ice in the amount of $3,177,000. On a motion, item A, on a motion by Council Vital, seconded by the chair, the committee recommends approval of the transfer request in the amount of $3,177,000 from the undesignated fund to the snow and ice deficit for FY 2026. That vote carried 5-0. Item B, on a motion by Counsel Fucillo, seconded by the chair, the committee recommends approval of the transfer request in the amount of $32,000 from the collector/assistant finance director line item to go towards the unemployment account in the amount of $12,000 and $20,000 into the postage account. Vote carried 5-0. Item number C, on a motion by Counsel Vital, seconded by the chair, the committee recommends approval of the transfer request in the amount of $15,000 from the undesignated fund, which is the wireless antenna payments, to fund the open space stabilization account. That vote carried 5-0. Item D, on a motion by Counsel Orem, seconded by the chair, the committee recommends approval of the transfer requests in the amount of $50,000 from various departments from Public Works salary accounts, as noted on the spreadsheet from the Department of Public Works, to the city natural gas account for projected increased usage cost. That vote carried 5-0. Item E, on a motion by Counsel Orem, seconded by the chair, the committee recommends approval of the transfer request in the amount of $68,000 from various departments of the Public Works salary accounts, as noted on the spreadsheet from the Department of Public Works, to fuel and lubricants account for the projected increased usage costs. That vote carried 5-0. Item number F, on a motion by Counsel Orem, seconded by the chair, the committee recommends approval of the transfer requests in the amount of $120,000 from various departments of Public Works salary accounts, as noted on the spreadsheet from the Department of Public Works, to the city repairs and maintenance account for the unforeseen costs. That vote carried 5-0. Item G, on a motion by Counsel Orem, seconded by the chair, the committee recommends approval of the transfer request in the amount of $255,000 from various departments of Public Works salary accounts, as noted on the spreadsheet from the Department of Public Works, to the professional and technical service account to fund additional engineering services. That vote carried 5-0. Item H, on a motion by Counsel Fucillo, seconded by the chair, the committee recommends approval of the transfer request in the amount of $9,000 from the election budget to the city clerk's budget for a vendor to assist with processing the annual street listings notices. That vote carried 5-0. Item I, on a motion by Counsel Vital, seconded by the chair, the committee recommends approval of the transfer request in the amount of $5,000 from unfilled paralegal position to fund the legal services account for the ongoing matters. That vote carried 5-0. Next item was order number 26-9697, proposed non-union salary ordinance changes to job description pursuant to Chapter 125, Personnel, Section 5, preparations of classification descriptions for the positions of City Collector, Assistant Finance Director, City Collector, and Assistant Recreation Director. On item A, on a motion by Counsel Orem, seconded by the chair, the committee recommends approval of the job description pursuant to Chapter 125, Personnel, Section 5, preparations of the classifications for the positions of City Collector, Assistant Finance Director, City Collector, and Assistant Recreation Director. That vote carried 5-0. Item B, on a motion by Counsel Fucillo, seconded by the chair, the committee recommends the mayor submit a 7-step salary ordinance using annual salaries for the position of City Collector, Assistant Finance Director, City Collector, Recreation Director, and and the Assistant Recreation Director. The vote carried 5-0. Meeting adjourned at 8:01 p.m., Mr. President. I will be asking for 2 suspensions this evening. On the first one, order number 26-100-9752, please.
Motion's made and seconded to suspend the rules for order number 26-100-9752. All those in favor of suspension? Opposed? Suspension carries 10-0. Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move the recommendation of committee to approve the year-end transfer request in the amount of $3,731,000, please.
Motion's made and seconded to approve all 9 transfer requests in the amount of $3,931,000. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The year-end transfers are approved, and the vote is 10-0. Counselor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will be asking for another suspension on order number 26-100-9697, please.
Motion's made and seconded to suspend the rules for order number 26-100-9697. All those in favor of suspension? Opposed? Suspension carries 10-0. Counselor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move the recommendation of committee to approve the non-union job descriptions for the city collector, assistant finance director, city collector, and the assistant recreation director, please.
Motion made and seconded to approve the 3 job descriptions. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The 3 job descriptions are approved, and the vote is 10-0. Agenda item, anything else?
Oh, yes, one item, Mr. President. Public service announcement, the Finance Committee will meet on June 15th, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. I apologize. On number 10, I need to move to accept and place on file the communication from the solicitor.
Yep. Motion's made and seconded to file the communication submitted by the solicitor, which is on the zoning change for the results use mixed use overlay district. Any discussion on the request? All those in favor? Opposed? The motion to file the solicitor's communication is approved, and the vote is 10-0. Thank you, Councilor.
And then I will also do a public service. Urban Affairs is meeting on the 17th. We will be taking up the Forest Street zoning and potentially Target.
Forest Street zoning and Target on June 17.
Correct.
Any other public service announcements? Hearing none, agenda item 19.
City Council resolution in support of a nicotine-free generation policy submitted by Councilor Vital.
Councilor Vital.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to send the resolution in support of a nicotine-free generation policy and the 2 letters of support to the Public Safety Committee.
And the Board of Directors, Paul Dinwill's communication as well? Is that one of them?
Yeah, that's one of the 2. Yes.
That's one of the 2. Okay. Motion's made and seconded to send the resolution and the 2 communications to the Public Safety Committee. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? That motion carries, and the vote is 10-0. Councilor Facillo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to adjourn.
Motion's made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor? Opposed? We are adjourned at 8:32. Have a great evening, everyone.